Science is not a glamorous business. You have to be very persistent. Most people do not realize what it takes in terms of time to develop cancer-fighting strategies. You have to think in decades, over 20 years to get to that point.
I was 20 years old.
Your typical college student, just living my life and having fun. I wanted to be a nurse.
I started getting these headaches behind my eyes. I got sick and started vomiting. Ended up in the emergency room.
I worked in the world's premier polio virus lab, and I came to Duke at the very end of 1999. It's not an easy transition to go from poliovirus to brain tumors. Observations that had to evolve through many investigations. That's when I found out that the poliovirus is incredibly attracted to cancer cells, certain types of cancer cells.
The doctor told me, we found a mass on your brain, and it was about the size of a tennis ball. The tumor was called glioblastoma.
Glioblastoma, also called GBM, is the most common primary malignant brain tumor we see in the adult population. It is extraordinarily challenging to treat, and the vast majority of patients will die from this tumor within 14 months.
When I had my craniotomy, my brain surgery, they removed 98.6% of the tumor. I sought a second opinion on my treatment. When I first walked in the doors at Duke, I believed that I was going to overcome this. I was always welcomed here with a smile, and immediately we created that bond.
I always knew that I wanted to work in oncology. Since I'm 10 years old, I always envisioned that I wanted something more for my patients, something novel, something different. I met Stephanie after the first diagnosis of her brain tumor. The plan we made was very aggressive from the beginning.
The standard of care for the treatment of patients with a GBM is maximal surgical resection, radiotherapy, and then some form of chemotherapy. The problem is that the majority of tumors recur, and when they recur, there are very few therapeutic choices.
That following April, my cancer had come back. That's when I was offered the clinical trial. And Dr. Desjardins said, essentially, we want to put polio in your brain. And my mom's sitting in the background and she's like, you want to do what with my daughter?
Even people that didn't grow up during the poliomyelitis era know what a devastating disease it was. The next thing everybody wanted to know is, well, how have you made it safe? And this is where Dr. Gromeyer comes in.
All of us that were born before the year 2000 got the Sabin poliovirus vaccine. The virus we are using now is based on the type 1 Sabin vaccine, but it's made even safer.
What he did was exchange a genetic piece of the poliovirus vaccine with the ordinary cold virus.
This vaccine is, in essence, a live, viable poliovirus. However, that has lost the ability to cause damage in the nervous system, and thus it cannot cause poliomyelitis. Why does our immune system not fight off cancer? Well, it can, but often it fails, and that's why we have cancer occurring. The immune system is not very good at seeing the cancer, period. It's the tumor that actually fights off the immune system, and that's the truly evil thing. These tumors really build this wall or shield around them that makes the immune system blind to what's going on. And we have to fight that. We have to get this out of the way so we can get the immune system to come in and start doing its job. And our virus does that very nicely.
The shields are down and the tumor can be safely attacked. I am certainly a true believer that this therapy works.
Stephanie, she received the genetically modified poliovirus in May of 2012.
You've got to put a catheter into the brain to get it exactly where it needs to go. It's injected slowly into the tumor over 390 minutes. I can't imagine the courage, the guts it took for her to be willing to be first when there was no data in humans. It's mind-boggling courage.
2 months after we treated Stephanie, we were reviewing the MRI together, and the lesion we had treated was larger. And I called Dr. Gromeyer and I said, I'm sorry, but I don't think this treatment is working. And he said, in fact, what happens is when the immune system starts attacking the tumor gets really inflamed.
Her MRIs, after a while, began to improve.
When she came back, the MRI at 6 months, things were not as inflamed. And then after that, it just started going down and shrinking. And it slowly disappeared.
We can see the nodule that was here, the nodule that we treated that had looked really inflamed in July of 2012, in fact, disappear. But not only that nodule disappeared, but also the hole, so that's the hole where my finger is right now, also contracted.
A phase 1 trial is designed to see what the maximal tolerated dose of the therapy is. For us to see what we're seeing on a phase 1 trial is truly wonderful and a little bit awe-inspiring. The advent of the modified polio virus has proven to be the single most attractive and promising therapy the cancer field has seen.
I came to Duke because of the Presnauer Tisch Brain Tumor Center. I'm 100% convinced if I had been anywhere else, I would have failed.
We have treated so far over 60 patients, where about 25% of the patients do really, really well and just basically are in remission for a prolonged period of time.
We do bench to bedside research. The question is, how do we improve this so that it'll work in more than 25% of the patients, basically? That's where immunotherapy has to go.
This is just the beginning. We're going to be able to build on this.
It's the structure of our center where we have everybody talk with each other constantly.
We just have still the fire in us and say, how can we move forward?
Although glioblastoma is certainly our primary focus, we think of all the other scourges of mankind that are cancer: breast cancer, melanoma, prostate, colorectal, pancreatic. The field is wide open.
If you look at me, you would have never thought that I had stage 4 brain cancer. I am a pulmonary nurse. The doctors here and the staff here at Duke, they've set an example for me as a nurse and how I want to treat my patients, treating the whole human being, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. When I think about the people working in the labs, I want to say thank you. You're still working for cures for other people in the future.
Everybody's role counts. The bottom line is we're all here for one common purpose: to help people with illness, to give them hope, to cure when possible.
They saved my life. I love that people look at me like I'm a walking miracle, but to me, I'm just another girl walking the street spreading the news that there is hope at Duke. I am a 5-year cancer survivor, and it feels absolutely amazing.